The power is out, your filter is stopped, the heater is off, and the surface of the aquarium is completely still. Do this first. Get oxygen moving through the water. If you have a battery or a USB air pump, connect it now. No pump? Well, I'll show you how to manually aerate the tank in a second. Do not feed the fish, do not tear the filter apart, and do not assume you have a fixed number of safe hours. Because during a power outage, 3 things begin changing all at the same time: oxygen, temperature, and your biological filter. And if you restart the wrong way, you can create a second emergency after the power comes back. No battery pump? Use a clean aquarium-only container. Scoop water from the tank and pour that same aquarium water back in from several inches above the surface of the tank. The goal is to break the surface and move oxygenated water around the tank. Repeat based on what the fish are showing you. Do not pour untreated tap water into the aquarium just to create movement. Hey, when the power goes out, 3 life support systems begin changing at the same time. First, water movement and gas exchange slow down. Fish, plants, bacteria, and decaying material continue using oxygen, but your powered circulation is no longer helping replace it. Second, temperature starts moving toward room temperature. How fast it moves depends on the tank size, room temperature, lid, insulation, and fish you keep. Third, the biological filter loses flow and oxygen. The bacteria that processes ammonia and nitrite need oxygen too. That does not mean every filter crashes the moment the power stops. It means the longer media sits without oxygenated water, the more carefully you need to inspect and restart it. Your job is not to power every device at once. Your job is to identify which life support function is failing first, and then in most stocked aquariums, oxygen is first priority. So watch the fish. Are several fish breathing faster? Are they gathering near the surface or filter return? Are larger fish showing stress before smaller fish? Those signs raise the urgency. So start the battery air pump if you have one. Place the air stone where it creates visible surface movement. The bubbles help because they move water and disturb the surface, where gas exchange happens. If several tanks are affected and backup power is limited, support the tanks with fastest breathing, warmest water and heaviest stocking first. Now, reduce the load on the aquarium. Stop feeding. Most healthy aquarium fish can handle a short break from food better than the tank can handle extra waste during an outage. Feeding also increases fish activity and oxygen demand. Turn off automatic feeders so they do not release food while filtration is stopped. And then keep the room and aquarium calm. You do not need bright backup lighting for a normal freshwater tank during a short outage. Less activity means less demand while you stabilize the system. Now, look at the filter type, because the restart step changes with the equipment. Sponge filter, keep it wet. Restore air when power returns. Hang-on back filter, keep the biological media wet and prime it before restart. Never let the pump run dry. Canister filter, after a long outage, unplug it and inspect it away from the tank before pumping stagnant water back into the aquarium. Keep the biological media wet and handle it gently. If mechanical media is loaded with waste, use removed aquarium water for a careful rinse. Do not replace everything or rinse the biological media under untreated tap water. A sump pump? Check the return pump, overflow water level, and siphon before you walk away. Different filter? Same rule. Protect the bacteria, but inspect stagnant water before you restart it. Now, check the thermometer. Do not chase an exact number with sudden hot or cold water. Fast temperature changes can create another stress event. If the room is cold, reduce heat loss gradually. Insulate the sides and back of the aquarium with towels or blankets, but keep the top open enough for air exchange and equipment access. If the room is hot, increase the aeration because warm water holds less oxygen. and then keep the aquarium out of direct sun. Use cooling carefully and monitor the thermometer instead of guessing. The target is stability, not a rapid correction. Species matter here. Tropical fish, cold water fish, shrimp, and reef animals do not all have the same temperature tolerance. If the aquarium is moving outside the safe range for animals to keep, protect temperature may become as important as oxygen. When the lights come back on, do not assume the emergency is over. Restart one system at a time. Keep emergency aeration running while you inspect the main filter. Prime pumps that require priming. Confirm the filter return is actually moving water. And check that water heater is intact, submerged correctly, and returning toward the normal temperature gradually. Then, test ammonia and nitrite. The fish may look normal before damaged or oxygen-starved biofilter reveals a water quality problem. If ammonia or nitrite is detected, use one controlled correction with conditioned temperature matched water, then test again. Do not clean the entire aquarium, replace all the media, and add multiple chemicals at the same time. Monitor breathing, balance, schooling appetite, temperature, and filter flow through the next day. Resume feeding lightly only after circulation is stable and the water test supported. If you're preparing before the next outage, do not begin by buying the largest backup systems you can find. Begin with a life support load. What must stay powered in your aquarium? For many freshwater tanks, a small air pump can protect oxygen with far less power than running every light, heater, and filter. In cold conditions, heat may become the largest load. In a reef tank or system with a sump, circulation may be critical. Read the wattage on the equipment. Match the backup device to that load and the realistic runtime you actually need. And test the setup before an emergency. If you use a gasoline-powered generator, keep it outdoors and at least 20 feet from doors, windows, and vents. Never run it inside a home, basement, or garage. Aquarium rescue should never create a carbon monoxide emergency for your family. A simple outage kit can remove a lot of panic. Keep a battery or USB air pump. Keep fresh batteries or charged power bank. Keep a thermometer. Keep water conditioner and your ammonia and nitrite tests. Keep a clean aquarium-only container for manual aeration or controlled water change. And keep the aquarium survival checklist where you can reach it without searching for your phone during an emergency. The goal is not to power everything. The goal is to protect the first failing life support function. Add oxygen, reduce waste, keep the biological media wet, manage temperature gradually, and inspect before you restart. Then, test the water and monitor the fish. One thing I've learned is that power outages never happen when you're really calmly reading about aquarium care. They happen when the room is dark, your equipment is silent, and you're trying to remember whether oxygen, temperature, or the filter needs your attention first. That is why I made the free DBC Aquatic Command Center. It gives you the first rescue steps in the right order so you don't have to rebuild the plan in the dark. You can keep it beside your aquarium or save it on your phone at dbcaquatics.com/command. During an outage, the darkness is obvious. The dangerous changes are the ones you cannot see. Protect oxygen first, then let the evidence guide the rescue.